Welcome in to the Fantasy Advantage, where I'm giving you the advantage in fantasy football. In this episode, I'm just going to go right into my top QBs for the 2025 season. It's the top 12 in this first list. If you guys want to see the next set of 12 down to the top 24, please leave a comment down below and let me know, and I will. I don't generally play Superflex, so I was just going with who I think will, be the guys to start and who you should just draft as your QB for the year. But for the Superflex people, if you want to see a second list, let me know in the comments, please, and I will absolutely do it. So, with nothing else to go on here, I'm just going to get right into it per usual. I cut the brass tacks. Let's go. Number 1/2/3, I have Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow. In all honesty, I can see either of these three being number one. So they're pretty interchangeable for me here. If you were to, again, gun to my head, make me choose, I'm going to put Josh Allen as the number one because he quite literally finishes either one or two at the end of the season in fantasy. So Lamar is Lamar. So I'll put him at 2 and Joe Burrow at 3. But Joe Burrow's situation is probably even better than last year. His defense looks like it's going to probably even might be worse. So he's going to be feasting so hard that I don't see it being impossible for him to be one at all. So any one of these threes, I'll take it the one. Now, the first standalone guy here, and quite honestly, I don't really have to explain much either, is Jalen Hurts. Now, the main things here, tush push, standalone rushing ability, A.J. Brown and Smitty, and still one of the best O-lines, I think is the best O-line in football, makes the simple equation here. Top 4 easy. I mean, shoot, he's always in the top 3 generally in the position as long as, he plays the full season. But he does tend to miss pretty much always at least 1 to 2 games. And I think that right there is just enough of the chunk to keep him out of that, top 3 potential for me. So, yeah. Very simple, very basic. There's not a lot to explain. If you're watching these videos, you know enough about football. Jalen Hurts is easily number 4. If he were to stay healthy all year, then you can definitely throw him into that little rotating cycle of could be QB1. Now, the next guy here, this kid came in hot and literally never looked back. JD5, man. He's going to be a perennial top 5 quarterback in fantasy for me easily. He scored an average of 23.7 fantasy points a game and games that he started and finished, which was 15 games. And that ranks 3rd amongst all QBs in 2024. And I know people are hesitant because of the old-fashioned sophomore slump. I get it. But I don't really think that would take effect on his run game, which I do think might even get better. His 148 rushing attempts and 891 yards finished 2nd at the position. Now, as Jalen Hurts earned the most attempts and Lamar Jackson accumulated the most yards, he was just behind them in both. He also scrambled a lot. So he finished with a 4.4 scramble a game, which led to 35 scramble yards, which both of them were the best in quarterbacks last year. And even if his passing game does take a little bit of a dip, I really don't think that it's going to affect his floor in fantasy at all. And honestly, I don't think he does. I don't think the dip comes. Not as harsh as people believe. Debo coming to the team should really help him with some of that intermediate game, which was the one area that he had any struggles in, really. So, and the whole offense also, the whole team all got better, and all that means is JD5 is going to just keep on succeeding. So draft him with full-blown confidence. Don't worry about the slump. Guys, top 5. So you guys know I love my dogs, and my favorite dog of all time, the number 1 dog I have in football right now, is the Bake Show. Shake and bake himself, Baker Mayfield. Now, I know Liam Cohen is gone, and that worries people a little bit about the overall success of the offense. Don't let it bother you. He was top 10 in fantasy before Cohen got there, and that was his first year on the team. He's built chemistry with his receivers, and the Bucks know what he does well and how to utilize him and the rest of the players in that offense. So I don't see him falling off. He was number 4 last year. I really don't see him taking that big of a step back. The only thing that does make me feel like he could step back outside of the top 4 was his 7.2% touchdown per attempt rate last year, which is pretty much absolutely unsustainable. It's happened before, never been repeated. So I don't think that it stays. So he will lose some of that touchdown production. But his offensive skill players, all the guys around him, were ranked 6th in the league, and his O-line was 3rd in pass blocking, and now he's got Godwin back. Igbuka got drafted, and Bucky opens up the field for plenty of the pass game on top of being able to catch passes himself. So the floor still is high. The touchdown rate might go down a little bit, but I think his overall production stays really high. And let's not forget, dude, Baker had 60 rush attempts for 378 yards, which is 6.3 a carry, and he had a few touchdowns. I mean, literally, he was like lowering his shoulder and running through dudes. This is why he's my dog, dude. He's the epitome of dog. Open up your little dictionaries, go look for dog, and I think I may have said this about Cam Scatterbo. Scratch that. Put Baker Mayfield in here. That's who it is. He's the dog. You can get him in the 7th round as well. And sign me up all day for that. You can build such a good roster and go get a top 6, maybe even better guy at your quarterback position, and you're building a league-winning roster that way. So, yes, Baker Mayfield at number 6. Number 7, now, people are going to maybe call me a homer here, but my Cowboy fandom isn't influencing me on this. It's Dak. Dak is back, dude. First of all, his worst fantasy finish in a healthy year is 8th back in 2018. He has CD at full health, Pickens on the other side of the field now, and Mike, just kind of there, McCarthy is gone. He just felt like he was there. It never felt like anybody on the team truly believed in him and had like this culture feeling with him there. Shoddy stepped in and just bashed in a new culture, man. The players feel like, it seems like they're in a better mood. Like they feel better about the team as a whole. The energy's positive. Shoddy is there like creating something. I think he's turning a new leaf for this Cowboys team, and as a whole the team will be better, but this offense is going to step up and go back to business again this year. His last healthy season that he had was where he got robbed of the MVP, and again, like with the players I spoke of and things changing, the offense should be a lot better this year as last year. He averages 2 big-time throws completed in a game, which is 2nd in the NFL over the last couple of years also, which is just a neat little stat, and I think that will add to like his overall fantasy value in a lot of games. He also is I think the QB 17. You can get him in the 11th or 12th round at QB 16. Young, that's basically free. Like I was just saying about Baker, that's so late, and you can build such a great roster off of that. Like, yeah, Dak Prescott's gonna be back, man. Trust me. Take Dak, believe in me. Don't listen to the over hate that he gets because he's on Dallas and everyone's got something to say about him. Fantasy, healthy, he's great. Take him. With, never knowing for sure if he'll stay healthy, you can grab Joe Milton for literally free, probably off waivers. Just hold on to him, and if something happens to Dak, I think Joe Milton will pop. So, yeah, just a safety net. But Dak Prescott at 7. Now, this next dude at 8, does he crumble in the biggest stages? Well, more often than not, probably. Does he have incredible weapons and performs insanely well during the regular season and the fantasy season? Yeah, absolutely. It's Jared Goff. He has an amazing offense around him. And even though the OC left and Ragnar retired, I don't think that's not making any bad difference for him. He'll be just fine. Almost everyone believes in Amon-Ra being top 5 or close to it. JMO, everyone's starting to get on this bandwagon of him being top 10. Gibbs being top 3 in the league in running backs, which he's also a big receiving back. And Laporta being in that top 5 conversation as well. If that's the case, then Goff should be the quarterback target in your draft. His 270 yards a game over the last 2 years is the first among quarterbacks, and his 18 fantasy points per game through just the passing game alone. He does run a little, nothing major, but in his pass game alone is what? In that same time frame over 2 years, he's second among all QBs. His supporting cast was rated second in the league last year and apparently is expected to be even better. So quite literally, top 8 is as simple as easy as this comes. This might even be too low. If the offense hits the way everyone's expecting, Jared Goff should easily be in the top 5. But you can get him at like QB 7, and that's a perfectly good spot there. You can build a decent roster and then grab him. I have him in Dynasty. Love him. Yeah, just quick, easy. Jared Goff at 8. Go get him. All right, number 9 here. We got white chocolate, Big Bo Nix. I'm an Oregon fan, and I actually liked him coming into the draft. I just was a little unsure what the potential for him was going to be, at least early with the Broncos, and with let's be honest, it's a very middling supporting cast on the offense, and Peyton didn't really get much out of Russ. So there were some concerns, reasonably so. A lot of diehard Oregon guys really vouched for him, understandably. But yeah, there was question marks. He came in and he hit the ground running, sort of. It was a slow start, but about week 4 is when everything took off. It was a fairly slow start, but once he caught on, he was dominant. He was QB5 in those last 13 games of the season. He averaged about 2.2 passing touchdowns a game, and he has legs as well. 2.9 scrambles a game, which was 3rd in the league, and 21.2 yards rushing off of those scrambles, which was 7th in the league. That's just scrambles. He had 92 rushes for 430 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's an extra 77 fantasy points that bakes into your floor on top of the throwing game, which kind of doesn't matter who's there. He throws pretty well, and the offense was really successful under him. So I think they're going to double down on that. He's an older quarterback. I don't think the sophomore slump comes the same way that it does for the guys that come in a little older. It's usually like the younger guys. But yeah, he's also got the same O-line that ranked number 1 last year in pass protection and 2nd overall, just behind the Eagles. He's going to pick up where he left off. I think top 10 is a pretty safe bet. If you were going to bet, is he top 10 in fantasy? I would absolutely hammer it. I don't think he gets any lower outside of injury, really. I think that's about it. So, yeah, give me Bo Nix at number 9. Now, rounding out the top 10, I got the little man. I got Kyler Murray. I still have a lot of belief in him, man. He's possibly in the best situation on offense that he's been in for a little while. He's got Marv Harrison going into his 2nd year, and I do think that the Petzing, I think he's going to be I really screwed up with Marv last year, and utilize him the right way. Put him in more motion, get him involved in different ways to manufacture the ball in his hands, and that's going to pay off big time for Kyler. And McBride has become basically a tight end superstar, so that's his safety blanket. He's I think this is a big turnaround season for Kyler with the offense and the team as a whole getting better. He averages 18 fantasy points a game through his career, which is very good. In fact, that's my line, my point line for the impact rating that I created. Again, I've created a video on it about wide receivers. I can kind of break it down maybe in another video later, but just to skip all that for right now, it's a good thing. And I know that people bring up his production dropping off in the back end of seasons. I don't think that's sticky. I think it's just kind of a coincidental issue. Honestly, I believe him wanting to be better. I think the whole team improving. I don't think that happens the same way this year. And yeah, top 10 easy for Kyler. A full healthy season, top 10 for Kyler. You've got to get this kid, man. I still have full belief in him. And if you have any belief in him still, get him within your top 10. He can easily be your starting quarterback, and you'll have a great roster. Now, outside of the top 10, as of lately, I do think people expect this a little bit more, but it's the GOAT. Best NFL quarterback, real life quarterback, there is no question there, okay? People who try to argue that, shut up. He's the best NFL quarterback in the league. Even the Mahomes fatigue, I get it, the wife, whatever. Best in the league. The issue is fantasy, though. He hasn't been performing the same for the last couple of seasons. Over his first 5 seasons, as a starter, he finished among the top 6 fantasy quarterbacks in points per game. He was the highest graded quarterback during those 5 years, just ahead of Brady and Rodgers. But the last 2 seasons, he has finished as a top 12 quarterback in 37% of his games, after finishing top 12 in 88% of his games in 2022. This includes lately this last season, I think it was, and it includes the 12 game stretch where he failed to finish among top 12 at all in any of these weeks. Now, I do think the offensive identity has changed a bit, and that's what's taking a big effect on this. But he didn't get to have any, at least last season, he didn't have his top 3 players, his top 3 targets. I mean, he had Kelsey, sure, but Kelsey is aging. So let's see, Rashee Rice, he played very well in the first 3 weeks. Tore his ACL, went down. Hollywood Brown, before the season started, had his injury issue. And then he did have Xavier Worthy, but he was a rookie, and it took him a while to kind of get into rhythm. Now, with everyone being healthy, joining Xavier Worthy on the field, now they're going to have all of the receivers that have their roles. Andy Reid coaches that offense. I think everyone being involved, being healthy, that turns Mahomes into a top 12 quarterback at least. I do think the identity and philosophy of the offense changing still hinders that QB1, top 3, top 5. There is something definitely different about the offense. So yeah, 11's where I got him, but if he goes back to his old-fashioned ways, obviously he could be QB1. But yeah, I think the offense is different, and I don't believe in it the same. So, rounding out my top 12, we got my boy here. It's going to shake some people up, I think. I don't believe a lot of people are ready for this one, but Justin Fields. He is a starting quarterback in fantasy. And honestly, I feel like if things start off smooth enough in New York, this is too low. He's on the Jets, so it could end in catastrophe. I do totally get that. It's the New York Jets. They are elite with the 101 and just bungling everything that they do. But I think they're starting to build a better culture there and build a better team as a whole there. And I think this year maybe is when things start to steer in the right direction for them. And when you look at Fields, he averaged 20.7 points a game in 2022, in addition to 21.2 points per game over the first 5 weeks of 2023, and then 19.8 from weeks 11 to 17, getting rid of that midseason area where he was hurt. He averaged 19.1 per game as a starter in 2024, and honestly, I think he should have been the guy starting the whole time, but that's neither here nor there. That's always been good enough to rank him among the top 10 fantasy quarterbacks. Why are people so low on him? Like, if he's playing, he's putting up fantasy numbers. He also ranks first in the past 3 seasons with 3.4 scrambles per game and 31.3 scramble yards per game. And that's with the short season he had in Pittsburgh still. The O-line for the Jets was ranked 5th in PFF last year. Something Fields has never had. That's a really great O-line. I think getting to see what he can finally do with a supporting O-line, this could actually be the boost he needs to jump up into that potentially top 5, man. The only thing, like I said, he might start a little slow, and he's on the Jets, and it's Fields. You never really know what's going to happen, so that's what's keeping me, I'm staying logical and I'm not getting out of hand, but there's a part of me that's like, man, Fields could be a literal home run. On top of that, too, he's got his college teammate and his buddy, Wilson, being his top option. That could do big. Like, Fields has supported wide receivers. DJ Moore, once he finally got a guy, he got DJ Moore and had a great year with him. I feel like Garrett Wilson's got better talent than Moore. So yeah, honestly, I'm a believer in Fields. His fantasy value is really amazing. You can get him like essentially free as well. And this dude could be like that late pick that wins you your fantasy leagues very easily. So believe in me, be with me. Top 12 fantasy quarterback. It's Justin Fields. Okay, so there's the list. That's the top 12 quarterbacks for 2025. Please tell me if you want me to do another 12, and I have no issue doing it, but please tell me. Let me know. I want to know what you guys are interested in seeing. So let me know, and I'll do that. Yeah. Thank you for sticking it out, watching the video. The fantasy season's coming up, man. I'm getting psyched. Draft season's starting to creep in. So yeah, again, I'll put my Twitter down in the description as well. You can hit me up on there. Thank you for watching, man. Have a good rest of your day, and stay hydrated.